All right, people, here we go. Let's do this video for Tools of Geometry Objective 3. Okay, now, I'm just going to go ahead and do the diagnostic questions here. So this is one of the diagnostic questions for Objective 3. What I've gone ahead and done is I went ahead and put a graph in, and I drew the triangles out on the graph. Now, you aren't going to have a graph on this PFA question, which means that it's going to be really, really beneficial for you to have a piece of graph paper with you or to have a whiteboard with you when you're doing this, because if you can't plot the points, this is going to be really hard to do, guys. So let's go ahead and work through this. And I drew them on there for the sake of time. I didn't want you guys to see them watch me draw. So it's asking for these two triangles, what transformation takes M in O to M prime N prime O prime. So I need to take this one and move it to there. So let's think about this. It gives me four options. So it says I can either reflect on the y-axis or reflect on the x-axis, and then it gives me a translation, shifting to the left, to right, to up, seven. So let's try and eliminate answers. So I know that it's either going to be y-axis or x-axis. Now let's remember the x-axis is here and the y-axis is here. Well, if I reflect over the x-axis, I'm going to end up with a triangle that looks roughly like, oh shoot, like that-ish. I think that's about right. Now, I pretty quickly can see that once I reflect over the x-axis, there's not a translation that takes it to where M prime, N prime, O prime is. So like, I can just tell that that's not going to work. I can't reflect across the x-axis and then translate. So I'm going to say those aren't, let's mark those off. You guys have those little buttons on Summit, right? Put an X right there and mark those off. So we'll make those dim. I know it's going to be one of the y-axis ones. So let's just reflect across the y-axis here. Move my N and my O there and N from there. So let's reflect. I'm going to take O. Remember, if O is one space away, then it's going to be one space away from the reflection line. M is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away for M prime. O prime. Well, here we'll do like, there we go. And then N is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's N. All right, so there's my reflection. Now I can see that it's going to be a pretty simple shift to go from there to there. So let's go ahead and draw the vector. I'm going to choose O to O. Let's draw another color. So I got to figure that vector out now. So it tells me left or right first. Well, guys, I can already get this, right? So 1, 2 spaces. So that's right, 2, and then we'll just double check. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 7. So I'm looking at right 2, up 7, which means that this is my answer. Okay. Now, again, you can't get that unless you draw it out on the whiteboard. You really, really need to draw it out. And this is one of those cases where eliminating these choices and checking on these choices is probably the best strategy. All right, now this is the other diagnostic, and this one seems hard. I'm going to show you it's not as hard as you think, okay? Now, the first thing we really need to see, so let's read it. If ABC is translated into DEF and coordinate E is at the origin, what can be said about DEF with respect to ABC? That is complicated sounding. So let's do this first, okay? We're going to have one triangle translated to another. The order of the letters matters. So what? A has to correspond to D. B has to correspond to E. And C has to correspond to F. So when I look at ABC and it's translated, so it's sliding into DEF. Well, I know that I'm going to have a triangle that looks about like ABC. That's not a good triangle. Holy cow. Baron can't draw triangles. Oh, I forget. I can test this. So I'm going to have a triangle about like that. And where A is at, I need D because they match. Where B is at, I need E because they match. And where C is at, I need F because they match. Okay, so I know that triangle is going to be somewhere on my grid here. Now look at what else it tells me. It says that coordinate E is at the origin. So let's draw that in right now. So I know that that is going to be E. Well, I can go ahead if I want, and I can draw in D and F. Let's think about it this way, okay? So think about how I went from, I know that, let's highlight this, right? So we had B and E. B and E, I know that from up here, B and E have to match each other. So I went down 3, this is from B to E, that's my vector, and I went to the right 2. Down 3 and right 2. Now I could do the same thing, by the way, guys. Down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2. And I could draw in my new points like that, and that would be my D, E, F. But really all the question is asking us is what do we do? And look, it says down 3, right 2. This is my answer. So again, it really helps to draw this out. So have a whiteboard with you, have a piece of graph paper with you, and just draw it out. And even if this whole thing sounded really confusing at the start, hopefully once you start drawing it, you're gonna get a better idea, right? Everybody knows how to put E at the origin. You know how to draw E at the origin. Well, once you draw it out and start working through it, you should be able to get a pretty good idea of what you're doing. If you have questions, just make sure that you're asking your people. All right, that's it.